Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and a warm welcome to this week's Walking Wednesday. And, well, you've seen the title, Cat's Out of the Bag. There is something that I haven't actually mentioned that's been going on for the past, month, actually, I suppose, that I haven't mentioned for specific reasons. Well, also because I was either trying to play catch-up after the comedy focused stream, and then also talking about the quiz after that and the pantomime directly afterwards. It just never, I chose not to bring it up in those moments. Speaking quickly of the comedy thing, by the way, actually wait, no, I probably shouldn't point that out. Some developments have happened behind the scenes in Gacha Fest that I've been privy to that, were not to my best liking necessarily, nor the judgment of Mops, who of course assigned the final winners. I guess is in progress of doing that now. But, yeah, can't specifically say what has happened, but from context clues, you can probably guess. Anyway, the thing that I have not talked about, that I'll talk about today, and also the reason that I'm in this area to begin with, is that I got a new job, which involves leading several Spanish clubs. I've gone from teaching English to Spanish students to teaching Spanish to English students. Much younger group this time, so we've gone for primary instead of secondary, I guess. And actually, instead of one school, it's several. So supposedly, it's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday situation. Or at least it has been thus far, partly to either get me used to the moments in the first place, but also because it's quite far away from me anyway. I say supposed to because there are a number of things that need to happen in order for somebody to actually be able to go to a primary school. For any purpose. So over here, the disclosure and barring service are the people that do background checks and such, and you can very easily get a DBS background check and renew it whenever you need to. I think it's either every year or every 2 years. They email you, so I don't remember exactly the details. And then that gets sorted out. Except for what happens, I guess, in this case, they need an enhanced DBS check, which is one that that the company pays for, and you submit your details, they process it, and they do whatever they need, because this also means that you're registered with that company in question, which was part of an issue that I remember because what happened at the beginning of this was that I was supposed to do like a test, like a demo day back in December, and I did do that. The organizer was said that, okay, well, you can do this demo, it's the last day, so it won't be exactly the same as every other day, but you'll get an idea, to see if this is something you want to pursue. Then, I guess, because of DBS details and such, she then says that in order to even go to the school in the first place, again, got to be with the company and all checked up and stuff. To which I said, well, hold on, that wasn't what you said before. You said that, this was a test. Because you said, oh, do you accept the post? Do you, I need to know if you accept it, if you and sign the contract and such. I was like, well, then what's the point of the demo in that case, if you're just going to sign me up anyway? I don't know to this day if that would have meant that, the contract would have been voided or whatever, but also that would have looked terrible on records otherwise. So I kind of had to take a leap of faith and just accept regardless. And even then, I used my normal DBS to actually go in and sit in for the actual club itself. And yeah, the event itself was fine. I mean, it seemed like a Actually, it was this school. Well, I say this school. It's nearby and not in the actual area. Not that crazy. But yes, the school that happens on Wednesdays that I was I the demo for in the first place. They're not my supposed regular group, but for reasons that I will discuss in a moment. So, or right now actually, I think I got to that point. So yeah, after accepting and realizing I'd be starting supposedly on the 8th, I think my DBS, my advanced DBS didn't come through in time, so someone covered for me for that particular week, which apparently happens on a regular basis. And boy, does it happen on a regular basis, because as soon as mine came through, I was then asked to cover for somebody who hadn't received theirs yet. So that was so my first day ended up being Monday rather than the intended Tuesday. In fact, I think certain dates were actually rearranged from what I was sent beforehand, because also we use a website that I need login details for that the organizer didn't give me details for until right towards the very end. I asked multiple times about it, and otherwise I just had to print out like manual registers and things, and that's not the point of what's going on. They also don't tell me when the timings were for the classes with manual registers, so I have to ask the organizer that as well. So yeah, needless to say, I kind of have to hound, otherwise they're not forthcoming with information, which is like having a conversation with me at times, except there are actual stakes involved in this case, so that's why I care so much. Oh no, I'm just roaming around. I do this every week where I film and talk about my week. So I just roam about and just talk for myself, wherever I end up being, basically.
That's all right. I just was curious to know what you're.
No, I understand. Yeah.
This is it's a little cul-de-sac and we all know each other, but fine. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. I might not be around more, but I will see. Maybe I'll be back next week. I don't know. All right. Well, thank you. Yeah. There you are. So, I should have mentioned that people look at me weirdly when I do this all the time anyway, but yeah, that's very true. This is a very tiny street in an already tiny street. Anywho, what was I saying? No, forgot now. Oh yes, yeah, so Monday ended up being the first time before I was even probably given my registrations or anything, and I arrived there, and they had to check me in or anything, but there's also another teacher who came over and she presented, I think, her normal DBS, which was not the enhanced one, so she got turned down actually as she was outside the venue. Not outside, it was inside reception. I mean, don't know why I said outside. I got thrown off. What was I saying? No, forgot now. Yeah, so what happened was, they said, because there was actually two Spanish groups right next to each other in that school, so they asked me, so instead of the intended 10 children in the class, they said, am I okay with 20? Which, I mean, they were already there, it was right at the moment, so I said yes, because I don't want them to miss out. But yeah, 20 children on my first day on the job. And the first time I'd actually been, I'd arranged a class by myself, because one of the advantages of, the language assistant program is that, I'm an assistant. So, I can host certain things, but I also wasn't in charge of discipline necessarily. And the one time that I was left alone in a class with them was under very dire circumstances, and that ended up devolving into absolute chaos. So you can imagine that, an even younger group were even more chaotic as a result. So, yeah. not exactly the the best first impression of how the program was managed and everything. And then I got my regular classes, and one of them in the first week I said that one of them is split into two. I have two groups, but they're one after another, and one of them, they all kind of showed up. A little bit chaotic, but there's only like 4 or 5 of them, depends on the day, so they're manageable. And then in the one after that, literally one person showed up. So it was the most boring and quiet, club session ever, basically. Because there's also like group activities like singing a song to greet each other, obviously different worksheets. There's games to play, but they involve more than one person. So yeah, fortunately this week that same group had more people, and I think the week after, I've been doing this for 3 weeks now. Yeah. Again, life updates. Got to offer them up when it's the best time to do so. Naturally, of course, I should fill in the gaps that this is the reason that I got stuck in those traffic jams for the pantomime, because I had a much longer path to take anyway. If I'd actually just been going from my hometown anyway, I would have been perfectly fine. But I got caught in the crossfire, and probably will today as well. But hey, there's nothing else going on after this point, so I'm not as worried. I only get worried in matters of traffic and such, if I've got something going on afterwards that I need to be back for super urgently. But thanks to working on an American time zone most of the time for YouTube purposes, that doesn't end up mattering all that much usually. There was also when I finished this class the first time in the first week, I got a call from the organizer saying that somebody couldn't attend Friday because their DBS hadn't arrived again, and could I cover it? And so I said, well, I already mentioned that I have stuff going on Friday. This was the panto, by the way. So no, I'm sorry, I can't do this. I also would have been a physical wreck even if I tried to, move between them, so it would have just been disastrous. So I had already said no. I reiterated no. That Friday group also, I covered them the week afterwards, when I was fine to do so with a bit more notice. I think now the organizer sort of settled in because, actual things are getting approved and whatever, so, and I'm more or less fine on my own by this point, because I have the registration page. I have the what was I going to say? I have the registers and everything, and the only thing that I'm wondering now, or I was wondering, was that the registers, I guess, it's done on some like automatic thing. So I said I was going to come back to why it might be like my last time being here, basically. That's because they said that for February, I would get, aside from, I guess, my regular group on Thursday, I would get closer groups, more local to me, let's say, than the 45 minutes to an hour drive back and forth, depending on traffic conditions. So, with that in mind, this is something that's, I'm kind of looking forward to that particularly as well, because it will, despite the fact that it allowed me to catch up on Once Upon a Witchlight, because, I had time to actually listen to those things in the car. I mean, aside from that, there's not been much of an advantage to the commutes in question. The reason I was suspicious is because on the website, it registers, okay, dates are, insert date of January here to sometime in March, which I'm guessing is just because that's how long the term lasts, the semester. That's really it. That's my best guess. because yeah, I did ask that. I asked the organizer, and you know, she said, "Oh, okay, well, you know, we'll sort that out afterwards because you know that you'll just have those times." She kind of repeated like, "Oh, we'll have those times." I guess sometimes people ask me, I ask them specific questions, and I just repeat the answer they gave me before a lot of the time, as if I'm asking the same question again, which I'm not. But yeah, I'm going to trust that now more so because I've seen that the ones that I've covered for, you know, they have appeared and now disappeared from my registration list. So they're clearly being updated by probably the organizer, but at least someone in the company. You know, they're paying attention to that. So, you know, I will hopefully have those. I'm guessing those dates are just the automatic ones, and that was me filling in the blanks. So I have a little bit more faith in the process now than I did at the start. Which, yeah, I guess it means I have more or less settled in, especially, which is great since, again, I was kind of, I kind of signed up under coercion to a certain degree. So the fact that it's worked out more or less is pretty great. What that was about. Oh, someone behind me getting called. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I think that's kind of the update right now. We'll see if that holds true in the future. All I can do is hope now. But that's the missing gap of what I've been up to this past month, and the reason why January I've been a little bit more silent. You know, because not only because of pantomime, but also because of this. Speaking of, I mentioned the pantomime to a couple of the students in the groups, and apparently some of them actually went to see the pantomime that I was in, because they were excited. Some of them wanted me to do like certain lines from the panto as well, because again, they like when I do voices, which is again fantastic. That's what I do anyway. They like the giant lines for sure, you know, that kind of stuff. Yeah, so yeah, some of them said that, and actually at one point when I said, "Oh, I told them wanted to sit down," one was like yelled like, "Oh no, you didn't," or something like that. So yeah, that was their cue to be like, "I saw you in this thing." Oh well, I appreciate that. Apparently, some of them went to see it with, they said, with year 3, which also suggests that there was like a it was either a school trip or something, I don't know. They probably were in the matinee performance, potentially. I don't know. But yeah, it seems like they had fun with it, so we've got more satisfied customers in general. And also the director of the panto has actually also messaged today requesting feedback regarding his direction. Which is essentially what I said last week on these on video. So, but I'm not going to sit through an hour of me describing the panto that, you know, he created, because there's no point. So, yeah, maybe I'll summarize that to some degree. Back to my roots, because I don't know if people remember this, but there's a story where what was I going to say? Where my family and I went to see a Christmas Carol that was this was like back in, I think it was like back in 2008, 2009 basically. So like when we were just in Spain, it was in English. So it's like, oh yeah, let's go see a play in English. This is before I was like fully you know, immersed in theatre. I'd done a couple of performances, you know, in the school, but I wasn't, you know, involved or anything beyond that point. My first lead role as well. But yeah, the story is that I then was asked, okay, well, what was it like? Because I guess my teachers caught wind of such a thing. I guess because I assume that it was probably my mum told one of them, because he was in regular contact with them, just in general, like conversation-wise. This was before group chats, I suppose, were much of a thing, so maybe it was just a general update of some kind. But basically, when I was asked, okay, what was this like, I then described the performance and said the bits that I liked and didn't like in such detail that I encouraged people to go and check out the play itself while it was still running. The words on Madrid Madness were, Sean gave such an amazing review that people wanted to go see it, or something to that degree. I'm paraphrasing. So yeah, my reviewing my reviewing days and MO originates from theatre. As much as I gave credit to the Nostalgia Critic, and so does Monet, I guess that kind of like exacerbated it, but it was already there to begin with, apparently. Because I remember the play, but not necessarily the review part in question. So yeah, I guess I've just kind of always been like that, but hey, it means I can go back to my roots and give him some pointers if that's what he wants. And it seems like he does, so be it, I guess. Yeah, so before I sign off, actually, probably one more thing I should point out. So you're probably wondering, okay, well, now I'm doing this Spanish thing in English. What am I going to return to the English thing in Spanish next time? Well, that's still up in the air. Applications for other places have gone, but for Spain specifically, they're making a final decision if they're even going to proceed with the program this year. They're going to make that decision sometime in February. So I'm still holding out there. I've looked on the actual website to see if any of the application places are actually available, because I have to go through their website to do the Spain applications, unlike with other stuff through British Council. And they just have the ones up from last year and the year before that, which I was obviously a part of. So yeah, don't know yet. Don't know where, don't know what. Well, I do know where, but I don't know when. So yeah, with that in mind, I guess yeah, so again, fingers crossed, because truth be told, now that I've seen both, I've been on both sides, I do think I probably prefer the other side, the Spanish side. Probably more, as in like the being in Spain side. Probably just mainly because I was able to, be a bit more creative rather than just having like the resource materials that I've got here. There seemed to be some of the classes were more collected, others were at least engaged in like group activities in general. But yeah, and just because I feel like I'm probably better suited to that, thinking it through rather than over here. Because I guess even though I said before that the English level varied significantly and was not as potent as the literal bilingual school that I attended in primary, go figure. But it was it still leagues above a younger group, some of whom are only learning Spanish for the first time, and going through those basics there. I still haven't quite worked out maybe the best method of communicating that, but hey, I'm still going, and it's gonna be more local, so we'll much like them, I'm learning as I progress. Just hope that everyone's having a good time while that happens. So yeah, might not be seeing that class that's going to see me in the Panto. They don't know that I'm going to get moved and transferred and whatever, but it might be for the best, it might not be, I don't know. It's all up in the air. The tomorrow group still going to be doing that. So, you know, Thursday commutes, I don't know, keep putting on Critical Role or something before, or maybe another Adventurous one. Who knows? I'll figure it out. But for now, please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters. And subscribe if you haven't done so already. And on that note, until next time, farewell.